Race was also a big issue for Britain in 1959, but this time the stakes for society were higher. A year after riots had erupted in Notting Hill, Panorama reporter John Freeman went back to see if race relations had improved.
These people are British citizens living in London. Some were born here, but some are new arrivals. They came, of course, to earn their living, but they also meet our urgent needs in essential jobs. There's been surprisingly little friction between white and coloured. But last month, a very different sort of organisation opened its headquarters in the district.
I remember being very impressed with John Freeman, who had been a Labour politician, but brought to television immediately tremendous authority and an ability to cross-examine.
Now, what are the political objects of the White Defence League?
The objects of the White Defence League are to keep Britain the white man's country that it has always been, to preserve the white civilization, which is the product of our race, to preserve our Northern European blood, which in our opinion is our greatest national treasure.
Well, now, what does that mean?
I came to Britain in 1954, earning a living, going through further education colleges, and looking at the strange habits of these natives. So I wasn't fully integrated. But of course, you can't live in Britain during that period as a black person without recognizing that the society wasn't at peace with itself and certainly wasn't at peace with you. Yes, you were here, but to what extent you were welcome remains a matter for question and debate.
What does that mean in real terms? Do you want the Negroes to leave England?
It means that we believe in the bold, vital step of stopping all coloured immigration into Britain and repatriating, with every humane consideration, the coloured immigrants who are already here. And if mass coloured immigration continues as it is doing now, it will inevitably mean a coffee-coloured, half-breed Britain of the future, and we are going to fight to stop that.
Colin Jordan was a sort of well-spoken and came across as somebody who, you know, you recognise as the kind of type, you wouldn't have minded him as a neighbour, this kind of thing. He was, of course, an extremist and had poisonous views, but I think at that stage he wasn't a pariah at all.
And what about Jews?
We regard them as coloured people.
I see.
The pure Jew is not of Northern European descent.
But Britain was changing, and for most, these views were abhorrent. Some went further. Campaigning against the White Defence League were the musical stars of the day, such as Lonnie Donegan, Cleo Lane and Johnny Dankworth.
Well, the objectives of the campaign are largely to counteract any cranky organisations which try to preach the gospel of a master race anywhere.
Where were you born, for instance?
Southall, Middlesex, or Southall, Middlesex.
So you're in fact a Londoner, you're an Englishwoman.
Yes.
Where would you be, if you had to be repatriated, where would that be to?
Southall, Middlesex.
When I married Cleo, it really never occurred to me that there was anything to do with race in it. I'd never noticed that she had anything that looked different from a human being to anybody I've seen before.
But once again, the change wasn't going to happen overnight.
There was no integration at all, not to the extent that you would invite your white friends round for supper, or they would invite you. You would work together and have, if you like, a workplace relationship, but come the end of the work shift, that was it.
You went to go and rent a room, and it would have no blacks, no coloureds, no Irish, no dogs on the door. And that was perfectly common in 1959 in a way that would be simply inconceivable today.